This is a very poignant story. It is an author. His name is Simon Lewenberg, and he's a survivor of the Holocaust. And he explains his personal journey through the Holocaust and beyond. And he's calling in from Fort Lauderdale. And I want just to welcome you so much, Simon, to our radio show.
Thank you.
So I know that your son really helped you write this book because it's so beautifully done, but you're really the story. And
Yes.
You're the story. When did you first explain this to your son, when he was a little boy?
Well, no, not when, later on when he grew up. I couldn't talk about it, I was hesitant to talk. I couldn't talk to him when he was a little boy. He wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
So later on, and my wife said, you have to tell them what you went through. So when they grew up, I, started to explain what happened to me, and I knew when they were older, they would understand, what I'm telling them. So as young kids, I didn't bother talking about it to them.
Well, Simon, I, of course, have read your book, and it takes a lot to even believe people could go through what they went through. You and I don't even know.
Many times I question it myself. I say, did I live through that? How did I do it? It's the truth. That's what I said to myself. So obviously, I had a strong will to live, and with a little luck, I came across some German people that were quite nice to me, Not all of the people were Nazis. In fact, some of them hated the Nazis. And there were a couple of people I was lucky to meet. In fact, the man that I worked for, his name was Paul Hayes. And he was very nice. So he wanted to do something nice for me. He went to the commandant, to the camp, and he asked him, I would like to take Simon on Sunday to chop wood for me. So the commandant agreed. And when I came there, they had dinner for me instead. So I had some good experiences with some German people. Of course, I was one of the lucky ones. But I still experienced, what went on around me. And, of course, it was horrible.
Tell us about your family when you all went there.
Which family? Before?
Yes.
Or?
Yeah.
Well, I was one of the youngest of three brothers. And I had a mother and father, I had aunts, uncles, and a grandfather. And they all gone. In fact, they send out proclamations in the street. Whoever wants to go to work in Germany should can volunteer, which I did. And that obviously somehow saved my life.
So you were in Poland?
Yeah, I was in Poland, yeah. Buna Works in Auschwitz, where first we came to Auschwitz, and then they pointed people to go to the gas chamber and people to go to the next camp, which was Buna, a manufacturing plant. And that's where I went.
And you knew what was going on in those camps, didn't you? Well,
not in the beginning. Well, later on, we realized what was going on. But in the beginning, I didn't know.
You know what I've seen, and I really, it's amazing to me that the human spirit under the worst conditions, when there were holidays and some of the people were musicians, and they would just play music and they would do the very best they could, never knowing what minute to minute was going to bring them.
Yes, that happened in our camp. Yeah, we had one opera star, and in fact, the Germans got their officers with their wives. They came to the camp, and the opera star was singing for them, and the musicians were playing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Did you ever go back after the war?
No, I did not.
No, I'm sure it's not something you would ever want to do.
I didn't go back to Poland. I went back to Germany. Yeah, I got to know some people, and I went back to Germany to visit them.
So now tell me, so when the war ended, the Americans came, is that,
Well, I was liberated by the British. What the Germans did, they marched us into Neustadt-Holstein, which was a seaport, and they loaded us up on ships, and they were supposed to sink those ships. In fact, the British military did not know who were on those ships. So they sent out pilots' planes to bomb those ships. And a couple of them were sunk. And 7,000 people, the day of liberation, died. The British did not know. Those stories, why, that is going to come out in 2045, 100 years after the British will release all the documents. You see, they made a mistake, and they didn't want to talk about it. But my ship, luckily, pulled into harbor, and I got off. The SS, they disappeared. As I climbed down the rope ladder, the SS just disappeared. They said, "Go, you're free, you're free." And as I started walking up the street, British tanks came rolling down and stopped right in front of me, and I didn't know who they were. I said, "American." They said, "No, English." So I threw myself down and kissed their boots, and they said, "No, no, no, no," and they pulled me up. Then I went over to the tanks and kissed the chain of the tank. That's a fact.
I think people should know that you're 90, correct?
91 and a half.
91 and a half. And
when you get to those years, you count a half.
So Simon Lewenberg is 91 and a half, and he's talking about his new book, Simon Says, it's Memoirs of a Holocaust Survivor. And when I met him, I looked at his arm to see we all know that there are the numbers on many of the arms, but yours have faded away.
Yes, not completely, but you can hardly see it. I was supposed to go and redo it, but I never went in the camp.
Do you have other friends who are Holocaust survivors that you know
Yeah.
here?
Yeah, I know, yeah. He lives block down the street, Sam Graydon. I was in the camp.
Are there a lot of them?
I don't know a lot of them. But there are quite a few when we have a luncheon meeting. There are quite a few that's still alive.
I was thinking, are you there? You hearing me?
Yes, sure.
Okay. I was thinking, though, when people complain, these little complaints here that the weather's too hot, weather's too cold, the bathroom isn't this or that. And I was thinking what it was like for people to live all together where they had to, they were like human beings, but they were totally exposed.
Yeah. It's, in fact, they have no... The one thing the Germans, they wanted cleanliness. So we did have showers. We had to go once a week or twice a week to take showers. There were shower rooms, So.
But did you have bathrooms?
Yeah, sure. There were bathrooms out, not in the barrack, but outside. Mm. There were showers and there were bathrooms. Yeah.
It just is so hard to believe, and you probably what you see today going on in the Middle East, and the way that you're seeing the same kind of murder and
it never. There's no end to it.
Yep.
To the human brutality against each other.
Yep.
When they drove us into camp. Oh, I can't. It's on my tongue. I can't think of one of the camps. As we drove in on the trucks, right there in front, there were piles and piles of dead people.
Oh, my heavens.
So I knew, I said, oh, that's going to be our end. And they made us take off our clothes and go to the shower room. So we said, oh, that's it. As instead of gas coming out, nice hot water came out.
You never knew, though, from one minute to the next.
Knew. We weren't sure.
I even heard a story of someone that wasn't really killed completely, but he crawled in with all the dead bodies.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yep. I heard a story about that, and that, of course, they didn't expect anyone to be living there, and he eventually escaped.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting, too, that we all know that it was so horrible, and yet there are certain classes of people who try to ignore the Holocaust and say it never could have happened.
Those are obviously anti-Semites.
Yep. Absolutely.
How can they say it when there is proof of so many people?
Of course.
That many people can't lie.
Of course.
Each one had a personal story.
Sure.
But the main story we had that the Germans were killing us.
Right. And of course, when you think of it, there are a lot of Holocaust museums all over the United States.
Yeah.
Probably in other countries also.
Yeah.
Right. I remember going into one somewhere in the United States, and
but there's one in Washington.
Yes,
Washington,
a big one. Exactly. Maybe that's the one.
Of course, there's one in Israel.
Yes. Well, there's one in Miami Beach. There's one in Miami Beach. There's one. They're all over.
Yeah. Miami. Yeah. I was there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, in Miami, they had a wall with the people that were killed. The names, and my parents' names are on there.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
In Miami.
Right. No one can be forgotten. So now let's talk about, now the war's over and you're out there, but you didn't have any family. You're all on your own, aren't you?
No, I'm married.
No, not now. No, when you first got out of the camp.
Oh, when I first got out, of course, I was all by myself. When I first got out of the camp, when I was liberated from that ship, the British sank 2 ships, which they didn't know. They thought they were SS. And one of the ships pulled into port, and I, went, down the ladder, and I didn't know what to do.
Sure.
Night was approaching, so I went into town, and nobody wanted to take me into sleep.
Really?
So I went back up to the railroad station, and I climbed into a wagon, and I was going to sleep there. And one man passed by with a little hand wagon with a sack full of sugar or flour. And he said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "I have no place to sleep." He said, "Wait a minute." He went across. He was a railroad worker. Right across the tracks, there was a brick building, and he had an apartment there. He came back with his wife and his daughter, and they said, "Well, we're going to put you up."
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So they put me next door. There was a workshop, and I slept there. And because when I came out, I started eating everything, and my stomach wasn't used to it.
Yeah.
So I got very sick. The next day, they said, "You're not going to eat anything, but we're going to make you farina." You know what farina
Yes, I
is?
do know what farina is. Absolutely.
And that's how they got me back to health.
Really?
Yeah, and I was in touch with them all the years. And they had a daughter. And, of course, I just came out like a free bird from a cage.
Sure.
And I got involved with her, and I have a son with her. She died.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
Yeah, I see him now and then.
Well, my goodness, Simon, is that in the book? I don't remember seeing.
Yeah.
It is? I must have missed that.
I think it's in the book.
Must be.
I can't remember now.
Right.
You know.
Right. Were they the Chapnicks? No.
Pardon?
They weren't named Chapnick.
No.
That was a different, yeah.
They were Germans. Chapnik was the family from Poland before.
I see.
The war.
Right. Right. So then you stayed there for a while, and then what did you do? How did you get to America?
How did I get to America?
Yep.
I stayed there, and one day I saw a wagon pass by with the name of Patterson. All of a sudden it clicked. I said, "My father has a cousin in Patterson." So I wrote to the Burgermeister, the mayor, of Patterson. So they gave it to the mayor, and I had told him the cousin was a furrier. So they gave the letter to the furrier, and the furrier gave it to my aunt, who lived in Brooklyn, New York. And my cousin, she had sons, so my cousin brought me over. He filled out papers and said he has a place for me to stay and to work. That's how I came to America.
And how old were you then?
How old was I then? 22 years.
22 years old. And you experienced more life in those 22 years than most people in their whole life.
Yeah, it's true. I came across a lot of different kinds, even Germans. I came across a few nice German people.
Sure. Yeah. Why didn't you go to Israel? Why did you go to the United States?
I didn't want to go to Israel. I wanted to go to America where I had some relatives.
Yeah, I see. All right, so now let's think about this. So you, for a long time, you didn't write this book. What encouraged you to write the book?
What encouraged me to write the book is that 6 million souls were silenced. And there had to be somebody to speak for them. Even if it's in a little way, that book doesn't, tell the stories of 6 million souls. But that's why I wanted to write the book and let people know about my life. And imagine how we lost, so many people for no good reason. And I just had to do it. My son was after me for a while until I agreed to write the book.
Did you have a lot of historical papers that you could draw from, or is this all from your memory?
No, all from my memory. All facts, all papers.
Well, I hope people will get this. I know that right now we're talking with Simon. Simon is just a charming gentleman. I met him and his wife. They live, in Sunrise. But Simon Lewenberg, it's Lewenberg, and he wrote a book called Simon Says, which is a very catchy title, and it's all about the memoirs of a Holocaust survivor. And it's really a very, very good book. It's well written, and I know your son has experience in that. He's a television producer and all, but yet it had to have the story, and you were the one that took all this out and made the story. And did it bring back so many memories where you were able to do this? Where did you get the pictures from?
The pictures I got from my aunt. My aunt lived in New York. And she had the pictures from my grandfather and all the other relatives that sent it to her. That's how I got the pictures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wonderful.
I was lucky to have those pictures.
Oh, absolutely. They're beautiful pictures inside. Yeah, and it's just so well written. I'm very impressed, and I know that it's a great tribute to you and your family. And there's even a glossary in the back which says a lot of words that some people wouldn't know. And you have, you really have provided something that will stay forever.
Yeah, that's why I wrote the book. I knew that I wasn't going to live forever.
Right.
So I had to leave something of me and the story of some other people.
Right. Yeah, you did. There are a lot of books written on the Holocaust. They're all written a little bit differently from a different... Yeah. Everybody has their story and they tell it.
Their own story.
Exactly.
And each one is a different story.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's still about the same tragedy.
Yes, it is about the same tragedy. And so when people go there now, they see the empty buildings, they see the empty, there are marches that go there now with the young kids to see it. But if you could just close your eyes and listen, maybe you hear the screams and the talking of the people who were there for no good reason. Just
no good reason.
No good reason.
So I still cannot understand how one person can persuade so many people to destroy in other people's lives.
Yeah, right. I don't understand it myself.
And it never stops. It's still going on.
Yes.
It's still going on.
Yep.
So I question, is there a God in heaven?
Right.
If there was a God in heaven, why did he let that happen?
I agree. Yes,
why did he?
I have the same question.
Why did he ignore my aunt's cry to him, God save me and my little boy?
Right. Exactly.
When she was praying, there was only silence
Yep.
Therefore, I cannot believe,
Right.
I'm sorry to say,
Yep.
that there is a God.
Yep.
Because if there is a God, he would have been so powerful not to allow that to happen.
Right. I question the same thing. And there are so many other things like this that happen, not just to the Jewish people, but
it's still going on.
That's right. So it is man's inhumanity to man. Isn't that what they say?
So he created, if there's a God, he really made a big boo-boo, big mistake the way he created us with hatred in some people's heart to be able to kill an innocent person for no reason at all.
Right. Yeah, so it's a big subject.
If I pray, if I talk, I pray to my mother. I talk to her.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And
you
when
talk
I
to
do,
your mother. Yep.
She eases my pain somehow.
Yes, I think that's true. It's a funny thing you should say that, but most elder people, as they grow really older, they remember their mother. They talk to their mother. I know my father asked for his mother as he was dying. My mother kept talking, wanting her mother. There's something about a mother. Well, when did you see your mother last? So how were you taken? How did
When I saw my mother last was I volunteered to go to work. So that day we went together. So that day she took all the potatoes from the rations. We got a ration of potatoes for each person. And she made me potato pancakes.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. That's how I remember.
Oh, my goodness, Simon.
Yeah.
Oh, Simon, that is something. Well, Simon, you've been a wonderful guest, and I appreciate your calling in. You're just wonderful. I don't have words enough to appreciate you and what you've done, but Simon is Simon Lowenberg. He is just a wonderful man, and he's done something that will make him go on forever because of what you've written. So thank you so much, Simon.
You're quite welcome.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you for interviewing me. I appreciate it.
It was my great pleasure. It was an honor to do that, an honor. So thank you very much.
Take care.
You too, Simon. Well. Yes, bye.